What's up, Podfest? Let's go. Let's stand up. We're gonna make some money here. So let's hear some clapping, baby. Let's go. Let's go. We ain't gonna be broke no more. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna make this happen, baby. We're gonna be in that 1% that's actually making a few bucks. This is gonna happen. This is very practical too. My goal, my friends, today is to take you from broke to paid. My dream here, my dream really, is that at least, let's say 20% of y'all email me in a week and say, holy crap, Mark, it worked. I just made my first 500 bucks. I made my first 1,000 bucks. Mark, you won't believe this. And that, my friends, is the goal, and we're gonna make it happen, all right? So let's get started, let's go. Does this look familiar? It's Sunday night. Your spouse is mad at you. You're not giving them enough attention. It's midnight, you're editing videos. You're not making any money back. Your wife is wondering why you're not in bed, why you're spending all this money on gear like these cameras. So tired, so tired. No, we don't need to do that anymore because today we're gonna break the chain. And what we're really gonna focus on here is how can we make some money, how can we make a little bit of money, because what that income equals is growth. When you start to make some money, you can pour it into your production quality, you can pour it into ads, you can buy new equipment, everything gets better. Who here has someone that helps them with editing? Does anyone have someone that helps them with editing? Yes, yes, oh my goodness, the best thing ever. The best thing ever, not to mention AI helping you write your notes and your descriptions and all that. That's another topic for another day. My man Larry crushed that earlier. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna help get this cycle going, because what I found is once I can make money, I can run ads, which means more listeners, which means more money, which means more ads, which means more listeners. It's the circle of life, baby. So think of me as Mufasa today. All right, we're gonna walk you through it, all right? So, is Chris so generously said, I run a podcast production agency, a pro group, and host the After Hours Entrepreneur podcast, which, by the way, if you stick around to the end, I got swag, baby. I got swag. So stick around, I got your free swag at the end. All right, cool. So my story started about 4 years ago. I started podcasting, wasn't making any money. I mean, sure, like I'd land a client here, I'd land a deal here, but I wasn't actually making actual, tangible return from my show. Made it, again, I don't want to keep coming back to my wife, but there's been many discussions about how many thousands of hours I spent editing and producing. So it's pretty cool to get it going. So anyway, I started getting a lot of requests. Anyone here get guest requests? People requesting to be on your show? Woo! Love it, love it. If you're not yet, we're gonna walk you through how to get there. So I was getting all these requests, and what I would say to people is, hey, go fill out a form, and then I would never look at the form. I would never look at my spreadsheet. Basically, that's where potential guests went to die. Nothing ever happened. And so one day, a podcast booking agent said, hey, Mark, what if I give you 50 bucks? If I give you 50 bucks, will you take my guest on your show? And so I thought for a second. Pretty close, this is pretty close to picture. I thought for a second, I said, the guest seems okay. Sure, 50 bucks, let's go. I wasn't sure what to expect, but he came. It was awesome. One of my best guests to date. And so I was like, thank you, Chuck Norris. That was a good idea. Thanks, brother. I appreciate the support. But then I started thinking, like, how many people are actually doing this? Are people actually paying to be on shows? I've never paid to be on a show. Who does this? How do I find these people? And so I started actually doing some research, and guess what? It turns out that this industry is huge, massive. There are, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars being spent in this industry. This is PR at its best, right? Your podcast listener has a higher median average than most people, right? So we want that median income. We want to be talking to them. Other people want to be talking to them. So this industry is huge. It is blowing up. Blowing up. So how can we get our piece of the pie? You know, you might not be getting 50K, but how can we get a little bit? How can we get into that long tail, right? And so what ended up happening is I started refining my process. I started refining my pitch. I started connecting with the right people. Now I'm up to 500 bucks, up to 500 bucks for one guest. What do you think this does for your production quality? What does this do for your traffic? What does this do for your show? It changes everything. I'll tell you, it changes everything. Because that income equals freedom. That income means more team members, better skills, higher skills, better managers, better systems, more Zapier, more AI, all that good stuff. You can actually afford this stuff, which means you can spend more time doing what you love with who you love. Does that sound good to anyone? Anyone that spend more time with the ones you love? Oh yeah, we don't want to be like the sad cat at the beginning. No, 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 no. No, 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 we're not tired. We're energized, we're excited, we're actually making some money, we're gonna make this thing happen. Right, but listen, I know what you're thinking. Mark, my podcast isn't big enough. It's just, I don't have that many downloads, Mark. No one's gonna pay. Mark, if I get one of these guests on, all they're gonna do is pitch. They're just gonna talk about their product, they're just gonna hard sell, hard sell, hard sell. I know you're thinking it, because that's what I thought. But what I found is that even small shows have massive value. You can easily find guests. Again, we're gonna walk you through the exact steps, the exact framework to do that. And quite frankly, my paid guests are some of my best. They are amazing. They don't come on and just pitch. They provide value. They are experts in their field. They have businesses. They have income. They are legit. It's not the random guy in front of a Lambo who's like, hey, can I make vertical videos for you? Does anyone get those texts, by the way? Hey, I'll make a bunch of vertical videos for you. Yeah, these guys are legit. If they're willing to pay real money to be on your show, it's because they actually know what they're doing. They have a real offer. They're very valuable. I know a lot of people are, this is kind of a controversial topic, which is one of the reasons I like it, because at the end of the day, I don't care about the controversy. I care about you actually making some money, keeping that podcast going. So, by the way, I'm gonna move quick. This webinar is really designed for 50 minutes. We're gonna get it down to 24 and a half. So if you want the free guide, completely free guide, you can just go to marksavantmedia.com/guest sponsor. For everyone on the YouTube, there'll be a link right down there. So you just click the link. I'll make it super easy for YouTube. All right, cool. I'm gonna share this at the end too. If you can't line up that QR code just perfectly, I'm gonna get it to you at the end, all right? So let's talk about the framework. It's a 3-step framework. There's 3 things that if you nail them down, it's gonna work. You're gonna get more value, more income. So it's first, you know what, before I get into the exact framework, I think there's 2 really important principles to understand about making this work, okay? There's 2 keys to success. The first of which is that these muscle men here, this is you, this is the booking agent. We need to connect with the booking agents. The booking agents is where the money changes hands. It's where the big time players are. If you can connect with booking agents, you can develop some relationships with booking agents, guess what? They're gonna bring guests to you. All right, we're gonna walk through that here, right? I see a nodder here, yes, yes, yes. I know, I'm just excited to be here. Does anyone understand that we're in Orlando, Florida? We could be doing anything else. Give me a huzzah, let's go, baby, let's go. We're just getting started. Oh wait, we're not gonna clap for the FTC, but you know what, we are gonna clap for Orlando. So this is another, I think, important concept to understand, that if you are having guests sponsor your show, it's important to disclose that, you know, there's no problems worse than FTC problems, maybe IRS problems, but regardless, we don't want any of those problems, all right? We're gonna play it by the book, we're gonna do it the right way. So.
Regarding that.
Pardon?
What does it say regarding that? What makes you have to say that? Like, is there a law, a rule?
Yeah, so not an attorney. Generally speaking, anytime that you have an advertiser, sponsor, anyone that's paying to play, so to speak, it's important to disclose this. YouTube, for example, has a little checkbox on it where if someone is paying, or if you have ad roll ads in your show, you gotta click the button. So, again, not an attorney. You can watch what I do. That's kind of an easy way to go about it. But again, it is important that you let your audience know, hey guys, girls, dogs, cats, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listen, robots, for all the robots that are listening in the future, you know, this was a paying guest. They're paying to be on the show. Which in my experience, people actually appreciate that. Because again, now they know that this person's legit. This is someone I want to learn from. This is someone who's actually spending money in a positive way, right? Great question, an important one, because ain't no problems like government problems, right?
Positions your podcast as baller enough that someone would want to pay to be there.
That's a really good point from gentlemen here. It shows that your podcast is legit too, because people are actually paying. they want to be on your show. They want to be in front of your audience, which is a really good credibility point. So let's talk about clarity here, right? Clarity. There's really, I think, 3 core principles to getting your clarity right, because if you're not clear, it's going to be hard to land anyone. No one's gonna really want to be part of your program, right? So let's start with the messaging, because at the end of the day, the people that are paying to be on your show, they're paying for what? Exposure, attention. They want to be in front of your audience. So we have to think of ways to tickle that funny bone. We want them to understand that we've got the people that you want to be in front of. And so I really think it's important that it's really important. You hear this reverberating across the Podfest halls all weekend. You got to be clear on who your show is for and what the show is about. If you miss this, basically nothing's going to work. So I'm going to give you a couple quick frameworks, I think. They're going to help you get this rolling. So if you're kind of questioning or trying to improve your messaging, which, by the way, I'm tweaking my messaging basically every week. Is anyone else like updating messaging all the time? We're just always getting to know our audience better. We're always getting to know the marketplace better. So at the end of the day, what we really want to focus on, who the show is for, what is the pain point? What's keeping them up at night? How does our podcast solve the problem? And what is that amazing, glorious life going to look like on the back end after they've started listening and subscribing and getting involved in your show? A quick example, or another important, I should say, factor to this is using keywords. Google, search engines, what they're trying to do is match people with keywords. And the more keywords you're using in your descriptions, the more keywords you're using in your titles, the easier it's going to be to show up for the right people, right? And for anyone that's maybe not 100% clear, Mark, keywords, what the heck are you talking about? Quite simply, these algorithms are going to be showing, these algorithms like Google, like YouTube, like TikTok, when you're using hashtags, when you're using keywords like entrepreneur, like gardener, like veterinarian, it's going to help the platforms more easily match your show and your program with the right people. All right, so just in case anyone out there is new, you can, by the way, if you're new to podcasting and you're not even familiar with this term, you can still make money. This will still work for you. All right, so if you're still trying to figure out what are the keywords that matter, what are people searching for? These are some of my favorite ways to find out what people are actually typing into the World Wide Web. And I do just kind of want to highlight one here that I think is underrated when it comes to building a business, when it comes to building a podcast, and that's look at your competition. When you find and you look at the top shows in your industry, what kind of words are they using? What's in their description? What are the common denominators? Now, not to copy them, but we're trying to look for models that work, and then we're going to bring in our own unique self. So if you're not exactly sure how to develop your messaging, just look at the top 10. What are they doing? Right? Look at the top 10. Mike, I see you back there. What's up? Thanks for being here, brother. So, quick example of the theme of my show. The podcast is aimed at helping people leave that miserable day job and start to profit off of your passion. That's what my show is about. And again, one keyword here, entrepreneurs, makes it pretty easy for people to identify what the show is about, all right? You could use other words in here like side hustle, passive income. There's different things you can do. Does anyone follow Pat Flynn, by the way? Anyone know Pat Flynn? Super awesome dude. He's actually gonna be in my pro group next month doing hand-to-hand talking with everyone, engaging, so I'm very excited about that. No one does it like Pat, but one of the things I learned from Pat when looking at competitors, he uses a ton of keywords in his title of his show, and in his description of his show, he's loading them in there. So if you're kind of wondering what kind of keywords, Pat's, I think, a really good example of how you can do it at a high level. Okay, cool. Whew. Who's still with me here, by the way? Let's kind of stretch it out. Okay, cool. So we got our messaging down. You know what, by the way, who wants a shirt? Does anyone want a shirt? First time, what size are you, sir? Extra large, I got you. Is this one? What do I got here? Okay, so let's talk about credibility. So again, you might have been saying to yourself, I don't really get that many downloads. I'm not that credible, but there's other ways to build credibility. There's other ways to deliver value. I see a nodding head there, yes, because there's other ways to deliver value. And when it comes to your messaging, focus on what you do. How many years you've been in the industry? What are your accomplishments? Have you had any viral videos? Maybe you're repurposing and you had a TikTok that reached 20, 30, 40,000 people. You want to say this. You want to keep that in mind for your credibility. One of the things that I'm really big on too is the halo effect. People want to be on shows with other big guests. So if you can start landing big guests, that's a huge shot in the arm for your program, for your podcast. And I'm just going to give you one quick tip for doing this, because this is I think a big game changer. I'm going to share that in just a moment. And I would encourage you, I think a lot of times we're afraid of promoting ourselves. We're kind of afraid to talk about what we've done and how great we are and how amazing we are. We don't want to have a huge ego, but we got to be sharing the wins. We got to be sharing the testimonials. Anytime someone leaves a 5-star review on iTunes, you better be posting that. You better be letting people know. Heck, if you have listeners, have them send you videos. You post this everywhere. So, don't be afraid to share your testimonials, all right? And then, of course, once you've got all your messaging down, once you're clear, you're posting it everywhere, baby. We're going everywhere. We need to update our profiles because we need to be found. Again, one of the key parts to this is findability. Findability, right? Because we don't want to be going out hunting people down. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But what we really want is we want the paying guests to come to us. I got enough things in my life. I don't need to spend hours and hours DMing people and messaging people. I'm going to have them come to me. So that's what we're going to talk about here. How? Mark, how? How can I be found, Mark? We've already talked about a few concepts. We're going to go a little bit deeper here. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get on all the matchmaking marketplaces, because this is where the money is. This is where the booking agents are going. This is where they're going. And, listen, we want to be where the money is, right? We want to be, you got to be where the money is. And quite frankly, there's a lot of people that are on here that maybe don't have a booking agent, but they'd still be willing to pay. At the end of the day, we want to be on these marketplaces. But don't stop there. Who else wants a t-shirt? Who else wants a t-shirt? Do I have a, what size are we? 2X? Rain check. Large, okay, I got a ton of larges here, so let's do that one. Let's do that one. I'm gonna keep them coming though. Don't leave XXL. I see you, I got you. Boom, okay, Rock, you can keep that one in. That's a completion. That's a completion, Rock, thanks. Let's keep it in there. But don't stop there, baby. We're on the marketplaces, but don't stop there. Let's keep it going. Listed everywhere. All these websites are sales people for your show, working 24/7, 365. While you're playing World of Warcraft, these sites are still working for you. Just post it. I do also want to highlight here a couple of these that are important. Ghana is the #1 podcast player in India. Listen, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. Just make sure you go to Ghana and list it there. Savant, the largest podcast player in South America. So you definitely want to make sure your podcast is there. You want to link up your RSS feed. That'll be for another presentation. I'll show you how. But for now, just make sure that you're there. All right? And also very, very important, we want to make it easy. You got to make sure you have your best contact information everywhere, because the last thing you want is for someone to say, this looks like a good show to be on, but I don't know how to contact this person. So make it easy for people. Put it in your description of your podcast. You definitely want to have this information in your description of your podcast and everywhere else, right? Okay. So I am going to just talk real briefly on a quick tactic on how you can actually be proactive on how to maybe connect with some booking agents, okay? Keeping it super simple here. You're just going to type in PR agents. You're just going to type in podcast booking agent. It's almost shockingly amazing how amazing the internet is, right? It's amazing, so amazing. So amazing. So anyway, we're going to go there, we're going to reach out, and we're just going to be really clear. We've already gotten clarity on who our audience is and who we serve and what our show is about. And again, people do things for selfish reasons. We want to make sure they know what's in it for me. Mark, sure. What's in it for me? What's in it for my guest? Why would we want to be on your show? okay? Which brings us to the pitch. Pretty important part. So again, we're gonna kind of go back to some of the credibility piece, and we're kind of like Tim Ferriss style jumping around a little bit here. But again, if you don't establish your authority early, they're not gonna pay attention. How many people get a lot of emails? Yeah, me too. So again, we want to dive a little bit deeper into credibility. And I kind of mentioned earlier that name dropping big guests is a big deal for credibility. People want to get next to big guests. They want to be on shows with big guests. So I want to give you a quick bonus strategy here on how to book those notable guests. Who has a dream guest? Anyone got a dream guest? Yell it out. Jerry Rice. Okay. Any other ones? Is that Nick Robbins, Tony Robbins? Tony Robbins, yes. Tony Robbins, okay. Gary Vee is one of my big ones. That's someone I'd love to have on my show. But the fact of the matter is there's so many amazing people you want to have on your show. So I'm going to give you a quick, tried and true strategy to make that happen. The same strategy I used to book all these people. Evan Carmichael, Sean Cannell. You probably recognize a few of them. All been on my show using this tactic. It's very simple. You follow them on social media, you turn your notifications on. As soon as they post, you leave a nice, thoughtful comment. Not a little bit more in depth than something like, Slay Queen! Yes! That might not do it. You gotta leave a little bit. My rule is generally 2 to 3 sentences. It doesn't need to be crazy, but leave a little bit of value. And what's gonna happen is they're gonna start to notice. Who is this person that keeps popping up on my Instagram profile? Who is this person? And before you know it, they're liking your posts, your comments, they're commenting back. And then what we do is we slide into the DMs and we're like, hey, love your work. I have a podcast, you wanna join in? It's that simple. It's really not complicated, it's very simple. But some of these people are big. It might be hard, it might be tough. So I'm gonna give you another bonus tactic. Join their community. Do they have a paid community? Do they have a membership platform? Join it. And I'll tell you, you will have 100% success getting them on your show. No doubt in my mind they will join your show. And there's another ancillary benefit. You're connecting with other people that are in similar places, that have similar mindsets, that are on a similar trajectory. And you know what they might want to do? They might want to listen to your podcast too. You might get podcast swaps. You might find new clients. You might find new customers. So join the community. It's a great way to meet new people and book the big guests. All right, so again, we're gonna get into the value piece. Thanks for staying with me here. I'm moving fast, I'm moving really quick, I know. But we're gonna talk about value, okay? Because the better you define the value to the guest, the better you define the value to the agent, the more money you're gonna make, all right? It's that simple. The more money you're gonna make, the better you can define the value. So, again, if you go to markspontmedia.com/guest sponsor, this is all there, plus more. But these are some examples of some things that you can include in your pitch, in your offer, okay? Urgency. If it's not happening today, probably ain't gonna happen. So there's a few ways that you can create the urgency. How many guest requests do you get? I don't know about y'all, but I get dozens of requests every week. Dozens. That creates some urgency. That creates some traffic attracts traffic type of concept, right? Another thing that you can do is have pairs go to the front of your release queue. This has become a problem for me because I just have so many guests that are paying to be on the show. I just can't offer that anymore. But this might be a good way to get some momentum going. This might be a good way to get some traction. I offered this for a while until I just didn't feel good about it anymore. Anyone want to see the word track that I use when an agent reaches out? Agent reaches out, says, Mark, I've got blah, 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 who wants to be on your show, blah. This is what I do. This is what I say. And I know it's tiny. Bear with me. But this is the pitch. So this booking agent, Joanna, reaches out and says, hey, Mark, I've got Sean. He wants to be on your show. This is what he does. And so this is what I sent back. This exact word track. And I wasn't sure about Sean. I was kind of on the fence. I wasn't sure if Sean was going to be the best. So I just said, you know what? $500. $500. You know what she said? You know what Joanna said? She said, yup, Oh, and Mark, by the way, I've got a bunch of other guests with a similar budget that want to be on shows. Let's go. Let's freaking go, baby. Oh, feels so good. Feels so good. But what's next? What happens after you book this person? After they paid their cold hard cash, you got to pony up. You got to make it happen. You got to make it easy. We talked about the value a little bit. But what I do, quite simply, I send them a link to my Calendly. And you know what's cool about Calendly? You know how easy this is? It can integrate right with your Stripe account. They can go in, they can pay the fee, they can book. It goes into all of your automation. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I love the internet. Anyone else here love the internet? Yeah. Oh my goodness. I know there's some challenges with the internet, but it is freaking amazing. Because I grew up with a road atlas to find out where I wanted to go. I grew up getting to the movie theater and be like, my friends aren't here. I'm gonna hop on the payphone and tell their mom. Anyway, I never saw that movie, so missed that one. But does anyone think this is like a super complicated? Does this sound complicated? Nope. It is that freaking simple. It is that simple. All right? So I just want to quickly recap here. Gosh, I love that Doge. Anyone else have a Dogecoin fan? I got some Doge. A little bit of Doge. So just to quickly recap here, 3 steps: be clear, be findable, and have a good pitch, a good clean pitch. You have to have a clear description of your show, who it's for, very clear, very credible, updating yourself everywhere. Again, make sure you have your contact info. There's nothing worse than not having contact info. You gotta have that. You're gonna create your clear message using these points. Who's my audience? What's their pain point? How do I solve the problem? And what does success look like? I walked you through the booking agent relationship tactic, which is, I just want to put this out there too. Not every booking agent is going to have the type of clientele that can afford this. They might not have the budget, but you don't need a ton. You just need a few. If you get a few booking agents in your corner, you can easily be making $1,000 a month. Let me take that back. Maybe not easily, but simply. Very simple to execute here. I shared my pitch, but now it's your turn. You gotta take the action, y'all. My goal is that a handful of you, heck, all of you, are gonna email me and we can say, holy crap, Mark, it worked. You're gonna go on Instagram, you're gonna tag me and say, holy crap, it worked. It freaking worked. You're gonna go to the YouTube channel and you're gonna leave a comment, Mark, it worked. That was pretty cool. Now I'm running ads. Now I have the money to hire a VA. And you can get the full guide, which again, this is normally a 50-minute presentation. We're kind of breaking it down here. You can get the full guide right here at marksavantmedia.com/guest sponsor. And I know it's gonna work. I'm very excited for you to execute this. Casey knows what I'm talking about. Baby. Oh yeah. Cool, so we're at the end of our time here. Here's my contact info if you wanna reach out. Mark Savant Media all over the place. We're running short on time, but hey, any questions? I'm gonna open it up. Any questions, thoughts? Anyone having a moral dilemma here? I'm here to talk about. My man Casey, what's up?
I'm thinking about charging for guests. You really motivated me. I just don't know how much to charge. So like 500 seems like a lot of money. Like, how do I know what to charge?
Well, like I said, the more value you give, the more you can ask for. And so I think that's a great question, how much to charge. The more you can give, the more you'll receive, generally speaking. I'm kind of a start low type of guy. And I do vary, it depends on the guest. If I'm kind of like on the fence with a guest, I might just throw out a number. And if they say yes, it's like, let's go. And if they say no, that's okay, I was on the fence anyway. So again, I start at 50, and so here's another quick sales technique. Does anyone ever have this problem where someone asks how much is it, and you tell them the price and they're like, yep. They just snap, yep. Does anyone have that? That is the worst feeling in the world. That is the worst. I want them to squirm and think like, oh, maybe not. I gotta ask, I gotta think about it, I gotta look at my cost per client acquisition. Yeah, so anyway, there's a little bit of balance there. I start at $50. I think that's just about anyone's gonna be willing to pay that, but you can keep going up as you deliver more value. Yes, sir.
Find a lot of corporate people will be willing to pay, just like you. That's the guy.
Yes.
Because they see it as just cost of doing business. It's kind of irrelevant cost.
Yeah.
Versus an individual, well, that's a lot of money to just go schmo, but if you work for a company, that's an expense.
That's a great point. This point of going to the corporate executives, the people that have money, the people that are trying to get themselves out there, maybe they want more backlinks for their website, maybe they know the value of content going on social media, 100%. To quote Alex Hormozy, solve rich people problems. They'd pay better, you know. Very good point, very good point. Yes?
Do you charge everyone to be on the podcast?
Do I charge everyone? That's a great question. And the answer is no. The answer is no. And listen, there's no one right way to do this, but you know, for example, generally speaking, if I'm reaching out to someone because I'm just really want to talk to them like the Jerry Rice, you know, or the Tony Robbins, I'm not going to charge. I'm the one who initiated. That's my way about doing it. But there's other ways to exchange value. It doesn't always have to be cash, you know. It could be a podcast swap with someone that maybe normally wouldn't bring you on. Let's swap podcasts. So there's different ways you can exchange value, for sure. Yes, yes.
When it comes to creating social media and blasting your podcast, do you recommend creating a separate podcast page for your socials or keeping it on your personal page?
So this is one of those things that keeps me up at night. I don't have a great answer. Right now, I have a company page, Mark Savant Media, which kind of houses everything. But now that I've really been executing this, I've been spending a lot of money in ads. I'm probably going to create a separate page just to make it more clear. I'm throwing out after hours entrepreneur shirts here. So I want it to be, very simple for people. Another thing that I found is, if I think that something's very findable and very obvious and should be a really clear answer, if I find that someone's asking me a question like that, Mark, I can't find your page. Mark, where's your Instagram? That to me is an immediate red flag. I need to fix that. Where's the disconnect, right? That being said, I think that if you don't already, it's a very good idea to lock in your podcast name on all the social platforms, just so you hold it off in case you really want to, go deep in the future. Right. Yes, sir.
Mark, for those of us who know that the charging stage yet, our model is more sponsorship. What advice can you give them, especially for the pro group, forming the pro group or the pro community?
So could you clarify the question? So you're clarify.
So we know that the charging stage where we can charge guests. We still want to monetize other ways. Mm-hmm. So I know you have a pro group. Just walk us through that quickly, like a minute.
Yeah. So thanks. So a lot of different ways to monetize, right? Landing sponsors is great. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. So my thesis on this is trying to find the right lane to generate cash so you can invest it into advertising, which is going to bring you more downloads in the circle of life. To be frank, the pro group that I created about a year ago, quite frankly, it's been one of the best things that I've done for my business. It really, I left my day job in August. Yeah. Woo! Let's go. Left the day job. I want that for everyone. If you want that, you can get it. I want that for you. It is the most amazing thing. Your family, your community, everyone is going to win when you do that. So anyway, a pro group, I think, is a phenomenal way to get there. The other thing that's cool about having a pro group is, the people that are in your pro group, you're creating super fans. They're going to be more invested because the hardest dollar to get from someone is the first. Once you get one, it's easier to get 5 because what happens is you solve a small problem and then they come back to you for a bigger problem and then a bigger problem and so on and so forth, right? But, for me, the way that I've monetized my business is the podcast itself, which pays for itself now, the pro group, and then, my consulting and production agency where I, launch, grow, and put shows into production. Thanks, team, by the way. You guys are great. Yeah. Cool. That was fun. So who thinks they can go do this? Anyone think they're going to go out and try this out? Or try this out? Yes. More yeses, baby. I'd love to see it. Listen, anybody that wants one, I got some shirts up here. I got some swag. Come up here. I don't want to wear out the throwing arm here, but come on down, baby. We got swag. Thanks for being here. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand, baby. Making it happen. Taking the action. Let's go, let's go, let's go.